Are you playing in Anchorage on the 28th?
Yeah, 27th.
27th. Because the 21st is a Saturday. The 27th is a Friday.
Mm-hmm.
They have legislative caucus, right?
Yes, on so
On Saturday?
yeah, no, yeah, it's the Alaska Black Caucus.
Yeah.
It's not legislative.
Oh, it's not. Oh, okay. What do they caucus on?
Uh, what do you mean? What they
Issues
caucus
or
on issues? Yeah,
music or
no, real issues that are dealing with the population of African Americans and in Alaska
uh-huh.
is around 5%, 5.2% in Anchorage. So they got a pretty big black population.
2025 population 2025 less than a million.
Yeah.
78,000 100,000. No, that's not right. 738,000.
Yes. Yes. 738,000. Used to be
Less than a
600,000 in the
yeah,
whole
yeah.
state. Yeah. So everybody in the state used to get a permanent fund dividend from our
Yeah,
oil.
they did. Do they still do that?
Yeah. I
Hell
used to
yeah.
get $3,000 a year.
Do they still do that? They do you not?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, no,
Okay.
because you gotta live there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when I lived there.
How do they know? How do they know you don't live there?
Because you gotta be a registered voter and everything, or you gotta, you go to school and all that stuff. They know. You
So
can't
you
just
have
go.
to show your driver's license to be a registered voter to
Yeah, but
prove
no,
their
but you
dividend.
you have an address there. Everything, they have a system in place. You can't fool them.
So they have a system in place
Mhm.
and everybody's okay. Nobody's disenfranchised or anything.
Well, of course, there's disenfranchisement. White folk are there. White people are
White,
professional.
wait, white folks are there so that
Yeah.
there's
Yes,
disenfranchisement.
absolutely. So we're there because the natives that were there before the white folk were there, the natives were disenfranchised. Their
Uh-huh.
land was stolen, and so they,
Uh, okay.
huh?
How? Okay.
What?
How was it stolen? I mean, was it
Um,
conquered?
it was stolen. The whatever happened, Mike, and I know you guys rationalize this kind of stuff. The government paid them because what they did was illegal. The same way the government made treaties with the natives to the land here in the lower 48, and
Mm-hmm.
they paid them now because they were illegal what they did. They know what they did. Mike, if I gave you something and we had a deal, and then I reneged on that deal, I went back on it.
Uh-huh.
I'm that's not right. But our government did that with the natives of this land several times. They made treaties, they made deals with them, they made promises, they shook hands, they signed papers, and then they went against it. So, um,
But in America during the revolution or after the revolution, the Native Americans were I mean, yeah, they weren't happy with the deal they made, and so
no,
they
no,
started
no, no, no,
attacking
no,
the frontier.
Mike, the deal they made, the United States continued to change it. It wasn't that they weren't happy, the deal was never fair. So, do you know that Oklahoma was Indian Territory until the early 1900s. And then the United States came and took Oklahoma and said, we're going to give you this land. We'll give you this part of what you already own. So you'll learn something today, Mike. You'll learn something about this country, about the racism and the bigotry and prejudice and bias that this country has instilled upon folk who were here before the country was here. So today I'm going to do the speech that I'm going to do there. I'm still writing it, but
okay, cool. Yeah. No, I'm learning every day.
Good to learn.
The Indian Removal Act of 1830 focused on the 5 civilized tribes, which Cherokee, Creek, Chickasaw, and Seminole, and others relocated to this area.
Yeah, and they called them, and so they decided that they were the civilized tribe based on their barbaric ideologies. So what made them civilized? What made the white people civilized? They called them civilized when what they did was barbaric.
Well, yeah, they went over and started killing all the buffalo, and the Indians were like, "We're not cool with that."
No,
We like the buffalo for a couple reasons. So they promised them a permanent home. The Indians, Native Americans.
So my speech
divided into tribal lands and opened up surplus land to white settlers.
So good. Hey, good afternoon. Good evening, everybody. So this is a show I do called The Jay King Show on KBLA Talk 1580 in Los Angeles. It's Tavis Smiley's radio station. So we tape it. Mike produces it. We tape it here live, and then it airs on the weekend. So if you would go and download the iHeartRadio app and then follow The Jay King Show, you can listen to all my shows anytime you like. You can also go to KBLA Talk 1580 and get that app, and I air. What time do I air, Mike? Do you know?
I believe it's Sunday 6:30 a.m.
6:30 a.m. on Sundays.
Yes.
So you can hear it there, but you can hear it anytime you want on iHeartRadio. So go download the iHeartRadio app and then follow The Jay King, search for The Jay King Show, and then follow it there. And it might get them up pretty early, so they'll be up before even before
the roosters.
They have it.
Yeah. 1 minute.
Keone. Number Keone. Keone number 9.
He's number 9? Okay.
Yeah.
Already.
Yeah. I need his mailing address. I think he might have sent it. All right, you guys. So let me just say this to you guys. We start at 6 o'clock, and then and I can't. If you guys talk to me, I can't respond to you because Mike is taping it, and if I start talking, it makes his job more difficult because he'd have to pick up where I left off at every time I'm responding to you guys. So it's 2 12-minute breaks, a 9-minute break, and then 2 3-minute breaks.
Yep,
okay,
that's correct.
Okay, so that's how it works. And in between the breaks, I can say something to you guys, but not during the actual audio.
Okay, Jay, you ready?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. 3, 2.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of day it is, make it good for you. My name is Jay King. Welcome to the Jay King Show at KBLA Talk 1580. We have a different one for you today. This is going to be a different kind of show because I'm not going to be talking about any subject in particular. I'm going to be speaking in Alaska to the Alaska Black Caucus on February 28th, 2026. And this is a speech that I will be giving. That's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to do the speech in different parts for you to get an idea of what I'm doing. Hold on one second. Angie is calling me when I'm taping this. 1 second.
No problem.
Angie, I'm taping my show. What's up?
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, the Legislative Black Caucus sent you an invitation to their unsung hero reception that you want to attend because it's coming Monday at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what she called me for. Okay. So where was I, Mike? What did I say?
You just said welcome to the show, and this is what you do.
Oh.
Yeah.
So so this show, like I said, it's going to be a little different than any show I did before because normally I tackle a subject. And I guess in a way I'm tackling a subject, but in a speech that I'm writing called The Shift. And it's our shift from survival to power, from protest to policy, and from yesterday to tomorrow, because we have to reshape ourselves as a community, and we have to change in a world that's changing. My name is Jay King. I'm the president and CEO of the California Black Chamber of Commerce. I'm the leader of the group Club Nouveau, and I'm a radio show host and a podcaster. So you can catch my podcast Monday through Friday from 8 to 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on YouTube, J King Network. You can also find me on Facebook, J King Network. Again, that's 8 to 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Mondays, I do a radio show on Mondays, I do a radio show on 97.5 FM KDEE in Sacramento. You can find that at kdeefm.org. From 1 p.m. to 2:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we do that show, myself and Keisha Matthews. This show is called Politics. On Tuesdays and Wednesdays, I do a show called Traffic Jam on 97.5 FM KDEE from 3 to 5 p.m. And on Thursday, I do traffic jams from 2 to 6 p.m. So as you can see, I'm a lot of places in different times. And I think it's important that if you're going to have a message, that you use all of the mediums that exist. And we have to stop running from technology and start running to technology. And when you look at the Black community, technology has set us back 10 to 20 years. And AI will set us back even further if we don't get in the game. So I'm going to start my speech, The Shift. This is a speech that I will be making to the Alaska Black Caucus on Saturday, February 28th, 2026. Good evening. We meet at a turning point, not just in America, not just in politics, not just in economics, but in us. The world is changing at a pace never seen before. Artificial intelligence is rewriting industries. Wealth is being digitized. Influence is measured in algorithms. Power is moving faster than legislation can follow it. And in the middle of all of this stands the Black community. brilliant, resilient, creative, but still wrestling with old frameworks in a new world. The question is not whether the world will change. The question is whether we will. There was a time when building separate was survival, when segregation forced us to create our own banks, our own schools, our own commerce, when Greenwood and Tulsa rose as Black Wall Street because exclusion left us no other option. But survival cannot be our permanent strategy. We must evolve from Black Wall Street to Green Wall Street. Green is not about race. Green is about ownership. Green is about capital. Green is about equity. And green is about scale. Building businesses that scale. We must stop introducing ourselves as Black businesses that happen to be good. We must become good businesses that happen to be Black. Excellence must be our brand. Competence must be our language. Scalability must be our ambition. Products compete globally, our race becomes a fact, not a limitation. The marketplace does not reward identity, it rewards value. And when we master value, we master leverage. We must also stop shrinking our story into a cultural sidebar. Our history is not a month. It is not an elective. It is not an appendix. Our history is foundational. Before there was a United States, there were Africans here. 1619. 157 years before 1776. Before the Constitution. Before the Declaration. Before the title American even existed. We are sugar. We are cotton. We are tobacco. We are the transatlantic slave trade. Those were not side hustles in the American economy. They were the pillars. They propelled this nation into superpower status. So when someone says, go back to where you came from, the answer is simple. We are where we came from. Our blood is in the soil. Our labor is in the infrastructure. Our culture is in the music, the language, the style, the innovation, and the spirit of this country we call America. There is no America without us. And if America is going to move forward honestly, she must tell the whole story, not just the comfortable part, but the complete part. We cannot talk about progress without talking about power. Racism, bigotry, prejudice, bias, white supremacy. These are not emotional buzzwords. They are structural forces. During the presidency of Donald Trump, many conversations that were simmering beneath the surface erupted into the open. Divisions sharpened. Misinformation spread. Old resentments found new microphones. This moment requires honesty. America is required to look at herself in earnest, not just from Black Americans, but from white Americans who believe in democracy. Silence is not neutrality. Silence is alignment. If justice is to prevail, it cannot be the burden of the wounded alone. It must be the responsibility of the nation. America owes a debt to its former enslaved, not because of slavery, but because of her breaking the law when it comes to her own constitution. Because she walked away from her own amendments to her own constitution. Not only did she allow racism, bigotry, prejudice, bias, and white supremacy to exist, she participated in it. She promoted it. She protected it. The story I speak isn't a made-up story. This is an actuality. This is a truth that we've avoided for too long. A truth that must be dealt with today. When I come back, I'll continue with the speech I will deliver to the Alaska Black Caucus on February 28th, 2020. My name is Jay King. You're tuned into the Jay King Show at KBLA Talk 15. How was that, Mike? How was that, Mike? Mike still with us?
He is.
Test, 1, 2.
Here you go.
Yeah, no, that's good. Sorry about that. I was muted. That was good. 12 minutes. And if you want to go again, 12 minutes, we're set up for you.
Ready?
All right. Thanks.
It's the Jay King Show at KBLA Talk 1580. I'm Jay King. I'm going to start on the second part of the speech that I will deliver on February 26th to the Alaska Black Caucus. Now, let's speak plainly. I'm sorry, Mike, let me start. Now, let's speak plainly. There is a debt owed, not because of charity, not because of sympathy, not because of guilt, but because of government-sanctioned harm. The 13th Amendment abolished slavery, except as punishment for crime. The 14th Amendment promised equal protection under the law. And the 15th Amendment promised the right to vote. And yet, for generations, those promises were violated legally, strategically, and repeatedly. This is not merely about slavery. This is about criminality at the government level, broken contracts, stolen labor, denied wealth, sabotaged advancement. People say the price is too high, too expensive, impossible. But the reality is the real impossibility is expecting generational harm to fix itself. And here is where we must think differently. You see, we're Black, but we're not a monolith. We don't all want the same things. We do not all need the same tools. We do not all walk the same path. So why would justice be one size fits all? Imagine a structured, accountable system where eligible individuals 18 years and older choose from a menu of opportunities: education grants, home ownership or land acquisition, 0% long-term business loans, health care guarantees, debt relief, tax relief, one-time capital payment. Each person selects 3 options from a broad list. I just named a few. You activate it when ready. There's a defined eligibility window. There is fiscal structure. There is long-term modeling. You see, justice doesn't have to be chaotic. Justice can and should be designed. When America compensates harm, she doesn't collapse. She corrects. And correction strengthens a nation. But here's the hard truth. While we demand justice, we must demand discipline. We must stop glorifying dysfunction. We must stop celebrating anti-intellectualism. We must stop confusing clout with competence. Education matters. Financial literacy matters. Mental health matters. Family stability matters. Ownership matters. The world is too competitive for internal sabotage. We cannot fight systemic barriers while nurturing self-inflicted ones. If we want capital, we must understand capital. If we want ownership, we must master management. If we want power, we must respect structure. We're talking about a shift. We have to be ready to make the shift that we're asking the world to make. And perhaps the most important shift of all is leadership. For too long, we've honored longevity over innovation, experience over energy, tenure over transformation. Our elders carried us through fire. They marched, they organized, they built, they survived. We honor them. But honor doesn't mean permanent occupancy. It is time to allow young Black leadership to move to the front, to speak, to innovate, to disrupt, to imagine differently. The world our elders fought in is not the world we are competing in today. Technology moves faster. Capital moves globally. Influence is decentralized. Young leaders understand digital economies. They understand cultural currency. They understand new models of organizing. Older leadership must now evolve into something equally powerful. Wisdom, counsel, sage guidance, not gatekeepers, but guardians, not blockers, but builders of bridges. The strongest civilizations in history mastered succession. When elders mentored instead of micromanage, when wisdom advises instead of dominates, when experience empowers instead of competes, movements thrive. We do not diminish elders by stepping forward. We honor them by succeeding. And elders do not disappear by stepping back. They ascend. A seat at the table is powerful, but building the table for the next generation, that is legacy. And we have to shift how we see young people and how we see our legacy moving them forward. Some will argue that young people don't listen, that they don't want to hear what we have to say. And I say, maybe we're just talking loud and we ain't saying nothing. Maybe we dropped the ball. If you look at the fact that over the generations of leadership prior to this next generation, we have not been able to build a real wealth factor. And why has our leadership built their wealth, but not the wealth of the community? Those are questions we have to ask ourselves. Beyond all of this, race, policy, economics, leadership, there's one final charge. We must be better at being human. Better towards people who do not look like us. Better towards people who disagree with us. Better towards people who grew up differently than us. The 21st century cannot survive with 19th century thinking. If America is going to be great, truly great, she must pay her debt. She must tell the truth. She must honor her Constitution. She must embrace justice. But we must also evolve. Survival to scale, from isolation to integration, from protest to policy, from Black Wall Street to Green Wall Street, from holding the mic forever to passing it with pride. The world is changing, and we will not be left behind because we are not guests in this country. We are the architects of it. We are not footnotes. We are foundations. And when wisdom stands behind youth, when justice stands behind strategy, when humanity stands behind power, there is no ceiling we cannot break. You're tuned into the Jay King Show at KBLA Talk 1580. My name is Jay King. We'll be right back.
Thanks, Jay. Got that.
Okay.
All right. Segment 3. Yep.
Yep, this is 9 minutes, right?
9 minutes, sir. Yeah, anytime.
I gotta find out where I'm. You ready? Ready, Mike?
Yeah, anytime.
You're tuned into the Jay King Show at KBLA Talk 1580. This is a speech that I will deliver on February 28th, 2026 to the Alaska Black Caucus. Imagine a system where eligible individual 18 years or older can choose from a menu of options. Education grant, home ownership or land acquisition, or I'm sorry, Mike, or land acquisition support, 0% long-term business loan, health care guarantee, debt relief, tax relief, one-time cash payment. Each person selects 3 categories from a list of 20. You activate your package when you're ready at 18, at 25, at 40. This prevents overwhelming the system and respects personal timelines, because most people will tell you that in order to pay the debt that's owed to the 40 plus million African Americans that live in this country, it would cost between 15 and 18 trillion dollars. And it would be impossible to support such an idea. What they won't tell you is that on a per capita basis, no one spends more than you and I. What they won't tell you is that when it comes to the economy, no one drives an economy like you and I. What they won't tell you is because they infuse the one group of people that have never been paid for the crimes committed against them. When they infuse that population, that they grow the GDP in this country by at least a point. Because we're not going to overwhelm the system like people think, because not everybody needs or wants money. There's an eligibility cutoff period here too. And that will prevent abuse. There's a structure here. There's clarity here. And there's accountability. This is not chaos. This is design. America has compensated other communities harmed by its policy. The Native community. When you look around, you see all of these casinos. Well, most of them, or a lot of them, are owned by the Native community. They have sacred grounds and land that they live on that the American government has no jurisdiction over. When you look at the Japanese Americans that were put in internment camps during World War II, they were compensated. When you look at Jewish communities impacted by state-supported atrocities in other contexts, they were compensated. So when people look to Black people and they argue the complexity of the debt that's owed, we can look at precedent because precedent exists. We can look at moral logic because moral logic exists. We can look at legal logic because legal logic exists. The only thing missing is political will. And political will responds to organized voices. This is why we must make sure that the voices that we organize aren't just voices of Black people, but voices of Americans, the people that make up America. And while we demand accountability from America, we must also demand evolution from ourselves. We must evolve. We cannot glorify dysfunction. We cannot celebrate ignorance. We got to stop confusing visibility with value. In this digital world, attention is cheap and substance is rare. Education matters. Financial literacy matters. Emotional intelligence matters. Global thinking matters. We cannot compete in the 21st century, not with this economy, with a 19th century mindset. Our charge has to be the first generation to start building multi-generational wealth. We must teach ownership before consumption. We must collaborate instead of cannibalize. And we must remember integration does not mean eraser. It means participation at scale. And finally, beyond race, beyond policy, beyond economic, there is something deeper. We must get better at being human. Better toward people who do not look like us. Better toward people who don't vote like us. Better toward people who do not worship like us. Better toward people who don't love like us. The 21st century cannot survive 19th century tribalism. We have the technology to connect the world. Now we must develop the maturity to live in it. You're tuned into the Jay King Show at KBLA Talk 1580. We'll be right back. How was that?
All right. Yeah, I like it.
All right. This is 9 minutes.
This is a 1 4 and another 4, 2 4s.
Oh, we did.
Four
We did the
Yep.
9 already. Oh, great.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
we're rocking.
we did 2 12s.
2 12s, a 9. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Mhm.
Perfect. All right.
Got it all.
You ready?
Whenever you're ready.
It's the Jay King Show at KBLA Talk 1580. I want to thank you all for hanging out with me and going through this because for me, it helps me learn how I'm going to deliver this speech. I'm going to have to do it a few times. But more importantly, the things I write, the things I say is the way I live. It's easy for us to separate one from the other. And oftentimes, we speak of other people in general terms. So people speak of us in general terms. It's my charge to always be outside of that box, to not generalize any group of people. Racism and bias exists in all of us. The question is, will we recognize it and do something about it? Friendship palette is wide. Not all of my friends look like me. As a matter of fact, a lot of my good friends look different. Different than me, different than each other. Because I believe that in order to have a full life, you have to have a full experience of culture and thoughts and ideology so that you're not offended by somebody if they move within their culture, because you understand that culturally this has nothing to do with you. This is who they are, how their culture moves. We are in some very interesting times. It's easy to separate us by political affiliation, political views. There are people who think if somebody supports Donald Trump that they are racist. That's not necessarily so. It doesn't mean Donald Trump isn't racist, but it may be a policy that they agree with, or a few policies. It may be that they are with the Republican Party and they just follow the party where it goes. The same with Democrats and independents and the like. So I say to you, be the difference you want to see. Don't buy into the world the way it's presented. Create one that you'd enjoy to be in. When we come back, we'll conclude the show. My name is Jay King. This is the Jay King Show at KBLA Talk 1580.
Yes, sir.
Wait, that was it?
Yep, one more. When you're ready, no rush.
Ready?
Okay.
It's the Jay King Show, KBLA Talk 1580. When wisdom stands beside youth. When justice stands beside strategy. When humanity stands beside power. There's no ceiling we can't break. When we stand together, there's no government that can overpower the people. And I say this to the people. When you see the government create any type of chaos or resentment against one group of people, take a step back. Look at what the government is doing, because today it's them, tomorrow it's you. And I say to the people, each and every one of us, let's build. Let's elevate. Let's empower. And let's become the generation that made humanity better. Not just louder, better. That made humanity respectful and respectable. That made humanity the equal and just society that we've written it to be. This is the Jay King Show at KBLA Talk 1580. And if you haven't done so yet, go to your app store and download the iHeartRadio app and follow the Jay King Show. Search for the Jay King Show and follow it. And all of my programs that I've done are there along with this one. And I hope to see you next time. Thank you for tuning in. How's that, Mike?
Yeah, thanks, Jay. Absolutely. Good comments.
What do you guys think? People listening, is it thank you, Greg. Hey, Michelle Neal. Hey, Elusive. I just listened to some of your music. Good music. Mr. Groove sent it to me. Yep. Really motivate me if it was a conference. Thank you for tuning in, Greg Horsley. Yep. Hey, thank you, EMAC. Yep, Michael Niner Jordan, accountable. We have to be, hey, Lori, good to see you. We have to become accountable to the things that we demand. So, we will talk about what's wrong, but we won't, hey, coach, we won't talk about what's wrong with us. And my mama said, if every time you tell a story, you're the good guy and everybody else is the bad guy, there's a lot of bullshit in your story. So we have to start extracting the bullshit from our story so that we can tell it right and we can help move what's going to happen for us forward. So it doesn't do us any good to convince folk to stand with us, to march with us, to fight for us and fight with us, and then we get the debt that's owed to us. And then we fumble it because there's no accountability, because there's no evolution, because there's no change. So that is, to me, that would be the greatest travesty. So while I fight our government and I say these are things that should happen, I also fight us and say this is where we have to get better and hold ourselves accountable. And until we're doing that, it's just a bullshitter alert. So, but that's what they'll get. That's what they'll get in Alaska on 26 or something like that. I'm still writing it. So thank you guys, Mike. Thank you so much. And I will see you guys on Kings in the Morning tomorrow.
Yeah, no problem. I'll post this ASAP. It'll be on the podcast, iHeartRadio app. Search
Yep, you guys go to the
Yep.
iHeartRadio app. Download the iHeartRadio app right now. If you haven't done so, download the iHeartRadio app and then search for The Jay King Show. Or Jay King. Is it The Jay King Show or just Jay King Show?
The Jay King Show.
Yep.
Yeah, search for The Jay King Show on the iHeartRadio app.
Yeah, very good. All right, thank you.
Yes, indeed. All right, we're in here. Good night, everyone.